Tonight on CTV, we'll take a look at a new impending lawsuit against CSU and updates on the Cameron Peak fires.
Then find out about voting in the national and ASCSU elections, as well as the update on Fort Collins stock show.
All that and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Jen Platero.
And I'm Ren Wadsworth. We hope you're all having a great Tuesday, Rams. As of Monday, September 14th, the Cameron Peak fire has remained at roughly 102,000 acres. The near 10,050 personnel have gained an estimated 4% natural containment of the flames, which originally began burning after a suspected human case on August 13th. Now, a month after the fire started and destroyed a total of 54 structures and 25 homes, one of which was a historic Poudre Canyon home dating back to 1885. The current firefighting efforts include a multi-pronged approach at the west, north, and eastern perimeter of the fire. Air operations will continue to support ground crew as they focus on the Thumb area above Colorado Highway 14 and in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Student at Colorado State University, Caitlin Schiller, filed a lawsuit against university after claiming she was sexually assaulted by wealthy donor Michael Best while waitressing at football games last fall. Schiller claims he grabbed her thigh so hard it left bruises. She says this happened at 3 different football games. Best's attorney says his accusations are false. However, according to the report filed to the district attorney's office, investigators found Schiller to be credible and subjected to unwanted sexual contact after the university failed to provide Schiller with the proper protection in order to ensure her safety. She has now filed a lawsuit against CSU in hopes of changing school policy.
Tomorrow is the last day to vote in the 2020-2021 ASCSU election. You can vote for Colorado State University's next student body president and vice president, as well as the next Speaker of the Senate for the Associated Students of Colorado State University. Voting is available on RamWeb until September 16th. To learn more about all the candidates running, as well as more about the election yourself, you can visit ascsu.colostate.edu/election. We covered the Speaker of the Senate debate last Tuesday and the presidential debate on Wednesday in a live stream event that you can still watch on CTV's YouTube channel. We'll keep you informed about the results of the election as they come out.
Well, speaking of elections, voting season is just around the corner. Citizens of Colorado are trying to find out how to get their vote casted. However, controversy behind the process has started to arise. The Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, recently sued the Postal Service after the delivery of mailers in state contained information that wasn't accurate for the state's all-mail ballot. Voting system Colorado automatically sends out ballots by mail without the need for a request. It is also recommended that voters mail in their ballot a minimum of a week before the weekend election. The state allows ballots returned by mail as well as at designated collection sites operated by county election offices. And of course, voters are also able to cast their ballot in person.
If you love hitting the slopes, you may need to plan your skiing getaway earlier than you normally would. Many resorts in Colorado are launching their reopening plan, and some, like Vail, will now require reservations to visit the park. However, Alterra Mountain Co. announced that most Icon Pass destinations do not require reservations at this time. Alterra Mountain Co. has yet to release their reopening plan along with Winter Park and Steamboat, but there are discussions of limited tickets sold per day to avoid overcrowding. Winter Park did announce, however, they will be prioritizing their season pass holders in regards to ticket dispersion. We'll keep you updated on new developments on that as well.
Students gathered today at the plaza with a creative approach to talk about what they both lost and gained during COVID-19 comeback.
We're just kind of bringing a question that people can feel free to come and answer, and kind of a self-reflection type feel of a place where people can gather in small quantities and just share our experience with like what we've gained and what we've lost during this whole pandemic, kind of bring people in, make connections, and we all love Jesus here that are a part of doing this, so we're just trying to extend that love to other people.
What a clever way to bring people together and start a conversation. It is definitely a nice way to connect with other students about their experiences during the last few months.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Well, in this case, it actually is a bird. The e-scooter company recently released their newest model of electric scooter named the Bird 2. The Bird 2 comes to Fort Collins after its recent release in San Francisco, Yonkers, and Bordeaux. This new model of the e-scooter is supposed to feature things like theft prevention encryption, puncture-resistant tires, and a longer-lasting battery. The Bird 2 even claims to have the longest-lasting battery of any e-scooter on the market. However, despite all the new upgrades, birds aren't being used by students at Colorado State University, and many of these electric scooters sit unused for days. If you're interested in what other features the new model of scooter has, you can learn more at 2.bird.co.
On Monday, Colorado became the 4th state to pass the Crown Act, a recent law aiming to protect hair discrimination in public education, working environments, housing, public accommodation, and in advertising. The Crown Act redefines discrimination against hair texture, hair type, or the hairstyle that is historically associated with race. This law, which has already passed in California, New York, and New Jersey, is just one of the several policies enacted by state legislators in response to protests and conversations around the U.S. in demand for social justice and reform.
A Colorado tradition that has been going strong for over a century has recently been canceled due to coronavirus concern. The National Western Stock Show won't be happening this year due to officials stating that the event could not comply with health and safety guidelines that the CDC has put in place to combat COVID-19. The stock show is the largest agricultural show in Colorado and has a huge economic impact for the state. According to the show's association, it generates more than $6 million in state and local tax revenue each year. Additionally, the show benefits business in Colorado with the increase in tourists in January. Both postponing and moving the event to a virtual platform were discussed, but ultimately dismissed. However, it is said that for those whose last year it would have been to compete due to the age restriction, will be allowed one more year of competition.
2,000 people attended the Let Us Worship event at the City Park in Fort Collins and did not follow safety guidelines for COVID-19. Most of the attendees were not social distancing or wearing their masks. The organizers did not request an event permit with Larimer County as well. The event lasted for around 2 hours with live music, prayers, and baptisms. The organizers used their First Amendment right to justify their reasoning on why they hosted the event. The city is now discussing to improve enforcement of COVID-19 guidelines when people are not following the county's safety procedures. The city of Fort Collins has not stated if there will be any consequences toward the organizers of the event.
Officials in the state of Colorado are noticing a slight increase in COVID-19 cases within college campuses and universities. The past few weeks, there have been a rise in cases for people between the ages of 10 and 29, and more specifically within the college age group. According to statistics, first and second-year college students are most likely to contract the virus due to social gatherings and the close proximity to one another in the residence halls or sorority and fraternity houses. The fear is that transmission within the college campuses will translate to a spike in cases in the overall town or community. Governor Jared Polis said despite all of this, the state is still seeing low positivity rates and hospitalizations, as well as below capacity.
While Fort Collins Council has adopted a one-year city budget of $696 million, the budget proposal is set to start in 2021, funding grants and contributions for 2020, which is currently projected at a total cost of $486.1 million. The governmental revenue in Fort Collins is accrued from sales, used, and property taxes. According to City Manager Darren Atterbury, the budget accounts for 69% of the governmental revenue.
That's all the news we have for you today, Rams.
But make sure to stay tuned because Jenna is coming up next with entertainment on CTV.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next. Find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
What's poppin', Rams? My name is Jenna Barrow, and I am your new entertainment anchor. I am here on this lovely Tuesday evening to bring you all the spice and entertainment for this week. So let's get started. Since COVID hit, everyone has had to adapt, but the music industry has taken a tough blow. Fortnite, the popular gaming platform, has set up a virtual music festival. The Party Royale kicked off on Saturday, September 12th, with Dominic Fike leading off the festival. The up-and-coming pop and rap star Dominic Fike performed on the Party Royale stage live Saturday evening. He performed his LP debut, What Could Possibly Go Wrong? Fike was live on soundstage in Los Angeles as gamers everywhere streamed the concert. AFK_BIN, a popular YouTube streamer, streamed the event live and at the end evaluated the concert and talked with people within the chat about what they thought of Dominic's performance. For me, it personally started out rough, but to be honest, he kind of warmed up and started getting better slowly after a couple songs, said YouTuber AFK_BIN. Adapting for concerts has been challenging, but hopefully this is a step in the right direction. Gamers agree that it was hard for Fike to start with no audience, with no real reaction for his performance as a crowd would. The performance came off at first a little stale, like Fike needed to see the audience and interact with them. But after a few songs, he was in much better shape, and hopefully, games like Fortnite can help the music industry get back on its feet. In other news, art has been one of my escapes these last couple months with quarantine, but my stick figures are no match for the chalk art taking place in downtown Loveland. The nonprofit Alternatives to Violence began 9 years ago, and since then has grown to include more talented artists. We have some competition on our hands, Rams, for best chalk art in a plaza. So wander out and make some art this week. Artist Lacey Gangstead paved the way to first place with her realistic elephant. She had entered into the Pavement Art Festival and fundraiser. Gangstead was not alone as artists lined 5th Street and the Plaza Foundry in downtown Loveland Saturday with unique and breathtakingly real art. We have some competition on our hands, Rams. All right, podium in the flowers, Old Town, sunshine, food, and sculptures. That's right, Rams. Your favorite downtown getaway has a sculpture competition going on right now. The People's Choice Competition, a yearly competition allowing citizens to choose their favorite places, people, and art, started back in August and is still very much going on. When you are in Old Town, look for as many sculptures as you can. Put on your critique glasses and choose your favorite. There's a podium in the flower beds and you can vote there on your favorite piece, whether you are looking at sculptures for the first time or you just love to do it. Be intrigued, head down to Old Town and see some beautiful pieces. All right, Aggies, let's spice things up. Have you been needing a new and easy dish to bring flavor to your table? Look no further than our very own Chef Ana Maria in the international program located in Baja Sur, Mexico. With COVID making it hard to go out to places to find culturally different meals, CSU has your back. Ana Maria from CSU in Baja Sur, Mexico shows the Ramley how to make authentic chilaquiles. With fresh cheese and guac in the recipe, it can't fail to amaze us. CSU Life will be posting a new recipe and video for a new dish every month. The dish will be from international waters and culturally diverse. Your food will be anything but bland. And to keep things fresh, my last tip to you is to go see the Larimer County Farmers Market. The expression farm to table is common in our beautiful state, and on every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. until Halloween, you can buy straight from the local farmers and growers. Make the expression come to life and know where your food comes from, and help our local farmers as they will host around 100 vendors to offer a wide variety of produce, coffee, flowers, baked goods, and arts and crafts. This takes place in Larimer County Courthouse parking lot. Wander down this Saturday and go see what our amazing farmers have to offer. Well, Rams, that's all I've got for you for today, but don't go anywhere because Cameron Eveg is coming up next to tell us what kinds of weather we should be looking forward to the rest of the week.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back, Rams. My name's Cameron Evig, and we're going to look at the current conditions right now in Fort Collins. As we see, it's going to be a warm one right now, as it has been the last couple of days. 80 degrees is going to be your current weather. 7:10 going to be that sunset, so just coming up soon. And the moon going to be that waning crescent, and absolutely a great day out today, as it should be tomorrow as well. Great weather should be all week. Tomorrow's highs, though, going to have some great weather out, and this is what we had earlier today, as you see out in the plaza of CSU. Some nice flowers looking great there, and you know, for mid-September, looking great with the sun, and students able to walk around, bike around, and do everything they need on campus today. But for tomorrow, we're going to go into the weather for tomorrow, and here are the overnight lows. Fort Collins going to be at 57. Of course, Denver, nice chilly 56, but if you're living in Craig, make sure you bundle up. 35 over there in Craig, as Vail also going to be a chill 40. Grand Junction sitting at 54. Gunnison at 45. Telluride at 46. Colorado Springs 57. Pueblo a nice warm 53 degrees tonight. Burlington going to be at a 53. Limon at 50. And tomorrow, though, going to have these tomorrow highs 82 in Fort Collins. So wear what you like. Make sure it's short. Sterling, 84 as well. Denver, another 82 degrees. Springs, 80 degrees. Pueblo, a nice toasty 87. Lamar, taking the cake today with an 89 degrees tomorrow. Craig going to be a little bit warmer at 85. Vail, 77. Gunnison going to be at 75. And so it's going to be a hot one all week, as it usually is. And mid-September is going to be a warm one, as now you see Limon also going to be up there at 81 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, though, 82 is going to be your high tomorrow in Fort Collins. 50 going to be your low. Sunny and dry. Sunset going to be about 7:10. And the moon going to have a new one out there. And so thank you guys for joining me for weather. But don't go anywhere, because Hunter will be right back with sports.
Got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. I'm scared. But if you're throwing love, I'll throw you some more.
Hello and welcome back from the break. As always, I'm Hunter Fillmore, here to recap the world of sports for you on this Tuesday night. To start off this week, we have some next-level Ram news. Nico Carvachos, former center for the men's basketball team, has officially signed his first professional basketball contract to play overseas in Bulgaria for BC Rilski Sportist in the Bulgarian First Division. In his time at CSU, Carvachos scored over 1,000 points and recorded over 1,000 rebounds, finishing his senior season as the Mountain West Conference all-time leader in rebounds and double-doubles in 2019. Carvachos entered into the NBA draft to gauge his stock, but was later withdrew and finished his eligibility out at CSU. Carvachos will make his professional debut as the starting center for BC Rilski Sportist when the new season kicks off on October 10th. In the 2019-2020 season, Rilski was 15-5, giving him a third-place finish in the Bulgarian National Basketball League. Carvachos will provide another scoring option and will help with the rebounding duties tremendously. Let's switch gears a bit from professional basketball to professional football. The Denver Broncos had their first game of the season against the Tennessee Titans last night, ultimately falling in a heartbreaker in the final seconds, scoring 16-14. After a difficult night of kicking, Stephen Gostkowski was able to redeem himself and hit the game winner to defeat the Broncos. Gostkowski was just 1 for 4 on field goal attempts and 1 for 2 on extra point attempts. In the final drive of the game, the Broncos did not use a single timeout and marched down the field on the Titans marched down the field to get into field goal range, allowing the Titans to run down the clock and kick the game-winning field goal with 17 seconds left. Broncos head coach Vic Fangio was questioned on his decision in the post-game presser and stated, "Their field goal kicker had obviously been having his problems. I didn't want to extend the drive so they could get any closer." Fangio received harsh criticism from the sports world on Twitter after the game. When looking at the stats, the Titans defeated the Broncos in every category, recording more total yards, time of possession, and winning the turnover battle 1-0. With a young offense and questionable coaching decisions, the Broncos will need to readjust before the next week on the road against the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Now let's move on to every football fan's favorite pastime, fantasy football. If your fantasy team did not perform up to the potential, don't worry, I have some under-the-radar players that you should target on the waiver wire. To start this week off, I think picking up Robbie Anderson would be a smart play. Anderson is only owned by 12% of fantasy owners. Last week, Anderson was 5th highest scoring receiver in fantasy. With 115 yards, 75 of those yards were on one play and resulted in a touchdown. With teams game planning for McCaffrey out in the backfield, Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater is going to be forced to step up and get into the passing game. Though the matchups are not favorable the next few weeks, Anderson is playing against two solid defenses in the Bucs and the Chargers over the next 2 games. He is still a valuable pickup if you are in need of a wide receiver. The next player that I am recommending for you to find a way to get onto your roster is Cam Newton. Last week against the Dolphins, Newton provided that he can still play at a high level and put up consistent fantasy points. With 230 total yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, Newton had the 6th most fantasy points among quarterbacks in Week 1 and has a favorable matchup against the Seahawks this week, who allowed Matt Ryan to throw for 440 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Newton is a dual-threat quarterback that can get you some scores on the ground. For my final player, I think that everyone should take a look at Colts running back Nyheim Hines. Hines has 2% owned fantasy rate in fantasy leagues. The first week of the season, he had 2 touchdowns in the first week against Jacksonville. And with the season-ending injury for Marlon Mack, it will be Hines and rookie Jonathan Taylor splitting snaps for the Colts. Hines is also known for his ability as a receiver out of the backfield. And Phillip Rivers as his quarterback is a guy who loves to throw underneath to his backs. Hines offers a good amount of upside in PPR leagues. Well, Ram fans, that's all I have for you tonight. Tune in tomorrow for the first edition of CTV Cooks with Wout Bocart and Krista McAllister. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night.